What if a factory could breathe? What if a place built for labor could feel more like a temple than a prison? What if architecture didn't just follow function, but dared to elevate the human spirit in the heart of the machine age? For centuries, industry was architecture's shadow hidden behind brick walls, cloaked in soot and noise. But in 1931, something radical rose above the canals of Rotterdam, a building made not to obscure industry, but to celebrate it. A place where workers walked in daylight, where bridges floated through air, where transparency itself became ideology. This is the Van Nelle Factory, and it changed everything. Rotterdam in the early 20th century was bursting with energy. Its port, one of Europe's busiest welcome ships from across the world. Tobacco, coffee, tea, these goods flowed in, fueling the city's industrial expansion. The Van Nelle Company wasn't just shipping products, it was shaping culture. And when it came time to expand, they didn't want a standard factory. They wanted an icon of progress. Enter architect Leendert van der Vlugt, working under Brinkman Van der Vlugt and collaborating with structural engineer Jan Wiebenga. Their vision would upend everything the factory once was not a shed, but a stage for modernity. This was the philosophy. Transparency as ideology. Continuous glass curtain walls in place of brick, one of Europe's first true expressions of open industrial modernism. Light flooded the interiors. Shadows gave way to clarity, light and air. With vast bands of steel-framed windows and minimal floor slabs, the factory embodied not just function, but well-being. Separation of flows. Each product, tea, coffee, tobacco, had its own journey. Machines choreographed the rhythm, architecture orchestrated harmony, glass sky bridges linked functions across buildings. Flexibility of structure. Reinforced concrete skeletons allowed enormous, uninterrupted floor spans. These could evolve with the times. It wasn't a frozen monument, it was a living machine. Aesthetic of precision. No ornament, no falsehood. Just the truth of materials. Steel, glass, concrete. Beauty born from exactitude. The site itself became a campus, an urban ensemble of factories, offices, shipping halls, and amenities. Everything spoke the same language. Horizontal lines, clean joins, modular logic. The main building stretched nearly 300 meters, stepping gently along the canal, its walls reflecting water and sky. The sky bridges' glazed tubes of motion became architecture's arteries. The details, no corner was an afterthought. Mullions, stairwells, door handles, each precise, each intentional. The roofs often overlooked elsewhere. These were layered with terraces and light courts, spaces for rest, even reflection. When the factory opened, the architectural world took notice. Walter Gropius called it the most beautiful spectacle of the modern age. Le Corbusier saw in it the blueprint for the modern factory. European architects made pilgrimages. The Van Nelle Factory became a symbol not of labor's burden, but of its potential. It was the embodiment of nieuwe bouwen, the Dutch expression of modernism aligned with the functional beauty of the Bauhaus and the social ambition of constructivism. Here, modernity was not sterile, it was radiant. As time moved on and industry changed, the factory's original purpose faded, but its architectural value only grew. In 2014, the Van Nelle Factory was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Its legacy was secure, but more than a relic, it became a platform, a space for creative industries, for culture, for thought. Glass still glows, bridges still span air, and people, designers, artists, visionaries still walk these corridors. The building lives on. The Van Nelle Factory still reflects the Rotterdam light, just as it once reflected a dream that industry could be elegant, that labor could have dignity, that architecture, even at its most utilitarian, could rise to the level of poetry. But this was not an end, it was a beginning. The ideals born here would ripple through time, into the Bauhaus, into CIM, into cities of glass towers and horizontal machines. If this journey into the Van Nelle Factory moved you, subscribe to Space, Shape, and Scale for more cinematic explorations of architecture's revolutions. Click on our next film to follow this timeline deeper into modernism's unfolding story. Because the light doesn't stop here, it only moves forward.